Okay, here's Miss Cow reading your Young Nation test. Number one, who was the first president of the U.S.? A. Washington, B. Adams, C. Jefferson, D. Franklin. Number two, in general, what was President Washington's foreign policy? To always support France, to always support Britain, to remain neutral, or always go to war when threatened? Number three, what is a precedent? The leader of a nation, first example to follow, a false statement, an advisor. Number four, what happened at the Battle of Fallen Timbers? The French and Indian allies of Little Turtle's tribe defeated the U.S. troops. The British surrendered to General Washington. The cabinet agreed to sign a treaty, while Washington sent thousands of troops to defeat Little Turtle's tribe. Number five, which group of people were targeted by the Alien Act? Immigrants who voted for Democratic Republicans, natural-born citizens who ran for president, New Yorkers who supported John Adams, or the natives in Little Turtle's tribe. 6. Which of the following best describes the first presidential inauguration? Adams moved into a White House in Washington, D.C., built by slaves. Washington adds "So help me God" to the oath in New York. Washington pardons Thomas Pinckney in Western Florida. Or farmers in Western Pennsylvania refuse to pay the excise tax. Okay, for number 7 through 10, base it on this image below. What does this image depict? Is this the first presidential cabinet? Top 5 candidates as voted on by the public? The last group of legal slave owners? Or the team of diplomats sent to France by Adams? 8. What is the purpose of the group in this image? To efficiently count the votes in the Electoral College, to translate documents in other languages, to impeach the president every 4 years, or to advise the president on making decisions. 9. Who was in charge of crafting economic policies and advising Washington on finances? So think about the money. Was that Henry Knox, Alexander Hamilton, Thomas Jefferson, or Edmund Rudolph? Number 10. By selecting this group of men, Washington set a blank, which has been followed by all presidents since him. Is this an impeachment, treaty, precedent, or a pardon? Okay, remember you can always pause, rewind, or scroll back for any questions to be reread. All right, for 11 through 14, base it on this picture, this cartoon. Who was portrayed in this cartoon as the president during the Whiskey Rebellion? Adams, Washington, or Jefferson? Which of the following best reflects how the president bottled up the Whiskey Rebellion? He led thousands of troops to Pennsylvania to intimidate and stop the rebelling farmers. He sent Thomas Pinckney to Florida to sign a peace agreement, or he issued a neutrality proclamation and refused to commit more troops to battle. Number 13, what caused this Whiskey Rebellion? Immigrants refused to drink the newly mandated whiskey. Farmers were upset that the Alien Act allowed cheaper whiskey to be imported. Farmers were upset that the federal government imposed an excise tax on whiskey. Or farmers called for a stronger federal government to protect their whiskey shipments. 14. How was the Whiskey Rebellion resolved differently than Shays' Rebellion? The Articles gave the federal government more power to squash the rebels. The Constitution gave the federal government more power to squash the rebels. Pennsylvania had a stronger state militia. Or whiskey gave the farmers more courage than Shays' inspirational speeches.